All right, welcome back to the Supercoach Nuff channel. In this video, we're going to look at another NFL fantasy draft strategy, and this time we're going to focus on the Superflex. So, I guess if you're playing in a standard league, this probably isn't the most relevant, but I guess for a bit more excitement in some of your leagues, different positions are added. One of those is the Superflex. And essentially what that allows is rather than just a normal flex, which is running back, wide receiver, or tight end, the super flex actually allows you to also have a quarterback in that position. So essentially it goes from being a league or a team set up where you only need one quarterback, where you can now have two quarterbacks. And I guess why this changes the dynamic so much is just because there's quarterbacks that probably generally higher scoring per position. They become much more valuable essentially. So when you can only have one quarterback, there's no point picking up, say, Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, because one of them is going to be benched every week. But if you can play both of them in your side, they're obviously a better combination than, say, Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp, or Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler. So Superflex, it does create a bit more interest, and it's a slightly different strategy because of the value of the quarterback. So I'm going to set up a mock draft, and I'm just going to customize the position. So you can see the standard: one quarterback, two wide receiver, two running back, one tight end, kicker, defense, one flex. I'm just going to add in one super flex, and we'll keep everything else the same. And then, once we begin to run the draft, you'll see how many quarterbacks, particularly as I'm going from slot 10. So there'll be a lot of automated picks come up. So if we begin the draft, load up on the screen. All right, and hit the go button. And so in a few seconds, we should see the draft board start to light up. It's making me look silly, but I guess it's not as extreme as what it could be. But if we do have a look at the draft board, you'll already see Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts going in the first round. So, you wouldn't normally see this in a regular redraft snake league, because again, there's the quarterbacks. Well, they obviously offer good value. There's more potential value in making sure you've got your wide receivers or running backs before you pick that one quarterback, because if you're comparing one to one, there's not that much difference between, say, a Mahomes and maybe like who's someone that's outside the top tier, like a Justin Herbert, let's say. Although Justin Herbert could be in that top conversation. But obviously, if you can get, say, Mahomes and Josh Allen to, say, Justin Herbert and then someone like a Geno Smith, there's obviously, quite a difference there. But yeah, surprisingly, again, using Rotoballer, so it's not the most solid algorithm. But you can see here that there's only two quarterbacks off the board. So obviously Josh Allen, we're going to get a piece of that if we can at 110. So as we circle around, again, Rotoballer showing its propensity to lean towards running backs. So again, when you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, there's quite a few running backs coming off the board, we could look at a zero RB type strategy. All right, and I get a nice little stack here if I go with Stefan Diggs. So straight away I'm locking in QB 1, wide receiver 1 stacked. That's fantastic, particularly from so deep in the first round. All right, if we have another look at the board, because again, we're doing this while all of these picks are happening. We're planning ahead. Again, a lot of running backs coming off the board, so probably not even worth looking at. So we're definitely going zero RB here. All right, and we've got 4 picks in between as well, so we'll keep that in mind. We can either go 2 wide receivers or we can go wide receiver tight end. So if you have a look at our options, a lot of decent wide receiver options. Definitely Chris Olave, but before we commit, let's see what we could get her in the corner. I reckon we could get Calvin Ridley, so we'll go that. So we've gone Chris Olave, Trevor Lawrence is gone, another quarterback. Yeah, we're definitely getting a man. So Calvin Ridley, boom, lock it in. So yeah, 0 RB all the way here. So so we're starting to get into the Deshaun Watson, Geno Smith. You can see some teams start to get their second QB in place. So before he goes, I think we absolutely have to get Richardson, and we'll look at our receiver options after that. So in terms of our tight ends, got Darren Waller, Kyle Pitts are still available. Is there any wide receivers we must have? Yeah, so there's some nice ones there. We've got to make a decision. We're on the clock. I reckon we'll go Darren Waller, get that another positional advantage at tight end as well. So far we've got 2 gun quarterbacks or 2 mobile quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson, maybe an iffy gun, 3 gun wide receivers or wide receiver 1, and a very good tight end. And we look on the board in round 7, Christian Watson is still available. That is epic. Just grab him. I'm not even looking at running backs at this point. Go around the corner. So I'll just have a pause. We didn't even look at the draft board therefore. Yes, you can see most teams getting their tight end second quarterback fleshed out. So we're ahead of the pack there. A sweet wide receiver core. Maybe we should start looking at a running back or 2. And the usual suspects in this sort of category, James Cook, Javonte Williams. Could take a punt on Dalvin Cook at the New York Jets. There's no massive wide receivers that stand out. Maybe Deontay Johnson. So it's going to be between, running back and Deontay Johnson. What's he? 92 ranked, 81 on the average draft. Obviously, this is an average because it is Superflex. Might not get back to him. What about our running back situation? Yeah, so they're sort of around the 82 mark as well. So that's him, essentially. So I guess, it depends how deep you want your running backs to go. I might pick one up now. And, the fact we've got 4 gun wide receivers, we don't really need Deontay Johnson. So let's just go Javonte Williams. Yeah, there he goes, late in the 8th. But they'll circle around again. Let's have a look. We'll go all the options, I suppose. Yes, it still see the quarterback's quite highly valued. So you can see this is why, you're wanting 2 gun quarterbacks in this format. But we've got Brian Robinson, Cliff Herbert. Yeah, this might be time to get like a JSN or a Michael Thomas. Let's go Michael Thomas this time. I think I went JSN last time. Circle around the corner. I reckon there'll be too many wide or too many running backs gone off the board in those last few picks. Yeah, only Brian Robinson. So I think that was a good call to go another wide receiver. So now we could go JSN as well. And let's do it. We don't really like the running backs in this sort of range. So yeah, definitely locking down our wide receiver core there, which is nice. All right, so I think on the next turn we'll try to target another running back. Obviously, we need our second running back, but also maybe our third quarterback. So someone that can just plug in for the buys. So if we have a look at running back, John Warren, Zach Charbonnet, there's been a bit of chat about. I guess being RB2, we want to be a bit more certain, but you know what? It's just a mock draft. Let's go it. All right, and then let's have a look what options we've got for QE3. So, see, there's not a great deal of options once we get to this point. Although the one that I would look at is Kyler Murray, particularly if you don't need him the first few weeks. You know, he does have that rushing upside. So I'm going to park him on my bench, and I'd be pretty happy with that. You know, if this was um, a real draft. Just trying to find the word for real mock draft. It's just the draft. All right, so where are we up to? Um, so we've got one more bench spot. We probably need to just get a extra run back. I like still on the board. You know, that's one we usually end up going to. Roshan Johnson, we've talked about previously. Let's just go Elijah Mitchell. You know, he'd probably actually start above Zach Charbonnet, I think, in most weeks. And then, you know, our kicker and defense, because we're late in the round, we're not going to get much. But, I mean, the Bills, yeah, they're the best ones. I take them. We might get one of the better kickers, though. That's the flip side of getting the early. Oh, no, we had the early pick that round. That's why we got a half decent defense. The last round, get late. So, kicker, we don't really care. We'll just get whoever we can get. Vodka, yeah, why not? Kansas City will score a few points. And there's the draft. So put him in midfield, which I guess from, you know, we were picking from the 10 spot, which isn't the nicest. But yeah, you know, we've definitely picked better than a couple of the others. And as always, you know, we try to pick some of the upside guys. But when we look at our roster, obviously our strength lies in our wide receiver core. You know, we've got Josh Allen, top tier quarterback, Darren Waller, which I think, you know, he will be top tier tight end. But then Diggs, Olave, Calvin Ridley, you know, they're three wide receiver one candidates for sure. Christian Watson even, you know, on our bench. So we're well served there. And, you know, if we wanted to, we could take, you know, a couple of these guys like maybe Thompson and JSN. And, you know, somewhere where there's quite, you know, strong running backs. Just looking through the squads, maybe this team, what have they got going on? Bijan and Najee. Yeah. Brees Hall in the flex. If Brees Hall was looking strong or looking weak, you know, I guess we could try to, you know, trade for him, and then, you know, he'd probably easily sub in for Zach Charbonnet. Or, you know, we can just churn the waivers, that sort of deal. So it's not the end of the world if we, you know, didn't get to two sort of decent running backs. You know, Charbonnet could prove to be a late season upside pick. But, you know, I guess that's part of the zero RB strategy too, is we don't really care as long as we're getting some points from them. We've got our guns in the other positions to cover. But yeah, just I guess, you know, Superflex, it's a lot more about the quarterbacks. So it is a funner or a more fun version to play. Fun is not a word. And speaking of playing, I keep forgetting to pump it up in the other videos, but I've actually set up a league. It probably will be Superflex if I'm being honest, just because I find it more fun. And it'll probably also be a salary cap auction style draft. So the draft is a lot more fun too. The link for that should be in the comment the description of the video below. Obviously, below that, you can add your comments and thoughts and questions. But yeah, like I said, if you're interested in signing up, feel free to do so. Yeah, the draft time and all that is in the description. I'm just scheduling these videos out every couple of days, so it's hard to describe exactly when it is. Uh, but yeah, get on board if you want to have a go. Like, I'm far from an expert at this. I've only been playing a couple of years, and we'll have some fun. But if you're enjoying the series, remember to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel for more NFL fantasy content as well as Fantasy Premier League and all the other good stuff. Uh, but yeah, other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.